of an idea which has to be first understood, then merged into the schools or the organization's culture, right? And as a process, it's a model of excellence which revolves around processes. Now, processes, we'll be defining it in a very, very apt manner. Like you must have heard about DMAIC cycle. That's PDCA, Plan, Do, Check and Act. Similarly, in Six Sigma, we have a DMAIC approach. We'll be approaching it word by word. But as a glance, the Six Sigma is a tool, it's a management process, it's a concept or an idea and a process which can be implemented out of a little theory which you are going to learn. Now, a theory is something like when I prepare a cup of tea, for example, right? What do you do when you prepare a cup of tea? We boil the water and we know the other processes. So we try. But if without boiling the water, if I put the sugar, nothing will happen, right? Or we put the milk, or we put the chai ka patti. I mean, it won't work. It has to follow a process. And that's what we talk about in Six Sigma, of reducing defects. Whatever we are doing, it should be minimizing the defects. Now, defects can be, for a plant, it can be the output. For a school, it can be reducing the failure and increasing the level of the satisfaction of the parents or the stakeholders. For a company, it can be enhanced productivity. So it is going to be understood in such a way that the objective is to do right by progressively monitoring and eliminating mistakes. Now, eliminating mistakes means first we need to identify the mistakes. We need to identify the problems. So identification of the problem, we tend to ignore the problems in order to process our next approach. Arey koi baat nahi. Do bacche fail hue, doesn't matter. Right? But we need to identify why the two children got failed. Why there is a dissatisfied employee. Why did that particular feedback come to us? Why two people from Airtel went to Vodafone? Now, of course, Vodafone has got the idea now, I don't know, the merger and all. But why did that particular subscriber leave Tata Sky and went to Dell? You know, you need to analyze that process. And that's the crux of Six Sigma is quality defines you and I. That means you can't work in solace. Right? So if I see this word, what is this word? It has nothing in meaning. Right? And what is missing in this? You and I. That the approach, the connect, the team spirit. And that is the approach of Six Sigma, that we cannot expect results working in solace, working in isolation. Right? We need a team spirit and we need to bring our employees together. It talks about some features and some duties of HR also in a big way. It talks about the crux. Six Sigma is a quality philosophy. Well, in definition wise, they talk about 3.14 distractions or mistakes or failure out of billion operations. But we need to redefine the steps. Simply talking about the statistical data will not mean, but actually it is a philosophy that talks about attainable short-term goals while striving for long-term objective, and our mission to have a total quality person with a vision that every child is potentially the light of the world and the pride of the human race is towards talking about Six Sigma in education. When some of you people ask, like, how it can be implemented in academics? Yes, there has to be a vision. And the vision is, every company has a vision, right? And they have a mission. Because of the quality standards, you have to have some defined objective, some defined mission, some defined vision. Yes or no? That's the mission. Even if you go for ISO, you have to define what is your company's mission or vision. Even at LMA, we have our mission and vision, right? So even we can think of Six Sigma approach. Why not? Implementing Six Sigma, of course. And that is to minimize defects and maximizing the profits. Now, if you say, what is the profit I am going to make if I am running an education company? Well, or a school, for say. Yes, the profit is good admissions, number of admissions, and the level of the satisfaction from the parents, right? And our parents, our students, everybody are, they are happy with it, and in your respective organizations. When I'm talking about a process or an activity, it's a group of activities that takes an input, adds value to it, and provides an output to an internal or an external customer. Now, internal customer, external customer. I'm not going to teach economics or commerce here, but you can understand it very well, right? The provision is to provide input in the form of measurements of the company's existing set standards, working on them and get the desired output. That is less number of defects and higher productivity. So the defects, जो चीज आप लोग अभी तक इग्नोर करते थे, अच्छा चलो इतना लॉस हुआ कोई बात नहीं, इतने लोग छोड़ के गए कोई बात नहीं, 4% तो था, 2% तो था, बट व्हाई वी नीड टू स्टडी. अगर आपने जो कंपनी में आप प्रोडक्ट मैन्युफैक्चर करते हो, कुछ तो आप फेंकते हो, कुछ उसको निकाल के फेंक देते हो, अरे ये तो इट्स नॉट ऑफ गुड क्वालिटी, इतना तो खराब होगा ही होगा. वी अज्यूम, right? We assume that's not known as conformity, right? We try to, there was a word which was used for ATMs. What was it? Calibration. So when you calibrate something, then also you need to diminish out something, So that has to be the approach wherein we are going to identify. Now Six Sigma plays with 3 rules. The first is the practices, which talks about wherever you want to go to implement Six Sigma, you need to make use of technology as an innovation to be implemented. You can't survive without technology these days. Any company, any organization, you have to make the best use of technology. Now, we were discussing about with Sir only the blockchain, right? Now, blockchain may appear a little far-fetching word to us, but tomorrow when it is being implemented, then it becomes, it's so easy, because today, when I heard not today, in fact, when I heard the concept of blockchain initially, I took it with the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. That blockchain is only Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. But it's not like that. Bitcoin is one of the applications of what? Blockchain, right? So we need to understand, it's not today that we are only going to be a computer science student to get to know about the applications of IT, right? As a layman, we need to, because when we are talking in general sense, we need to share information and we need to get to know about so many different things. So here, even blockchain implementation is one of the features for implementing Six Sigma. Yes or no, sir? And then we need to study more about it, how we can implement the software which is going to be integrated through blockchain and implemented at our workplace. Next is continuously seek to improve management of resources. Now this is the crux, which talks about that I have the resources, right? I have all the resources, like the fans are there, the ACs are there, but are they being implemented? Are they being used? That is again one of the spectrum. Like आपने खरीद लिया सा फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर, कभी आपने उसको यूज किया, आग तो थोड़ी लगाओगे, लेकिन एटलीस्ट आप उसको ड्राई रन तो कर सकते हो, to get to know whether it's functioning or not, right? So that unfortunately, fortunately, or whatever it is, like कभी आपको use करना पड़ जाए, right? So you know how to use it, right? At the same time, the implementation has to be there. Encourage input from educators, students, parents, stakeholders in a company, and then about simply internal systems and processes wherever possible. So you need to simplify the whole process wherein the approach is there. Like for example, you have, you know how to use the fire extinguisher. I'll take the same example again, right? But the thing is that you have 4 fire extinguishers in your office, but it is only known how to operate it by the 4th class employees. Right? You think it's not my job. Why should I learn about it? Right? But the thing is that suppose कुछ हुआ, unfortunate event हुआ, और आप साथ ढूंढ रहे हो वो पन्ना लाल कहाँ है? So you need to know. You need to get to know how the things are going to take place and how we are going to implement the purpose of it, the use of it. So that again talks about is the best use of that infrastructure. And then it talks about promoting health and safety and all that nuisance which creates that activity within the organization. we all tend to, when it comes to the safety and security, we all tend to have it, right? So Six Sigma provides a culture where we give weightage to these also. Are involved in local communities in education, training and voluntary sector, sports, leisure activities. That's a part of any and every office. Contribute to the sustainable use of resources like aids to teaching and learning and to access to internet. Obviously, we tend to believe that any office you go, there will be a Wi-Fi, right? Because that's the practical productivity, right? You don't expect that your phone will work out of your signals. Maybe it's ground floor or top floor or underground. You don't know where the productivity needs to be governed. So, as a practical office activity module, or as a culture, you need to make sure that the internet, online or Wi-Fi. I have seen many of corporate offices, they write over there, welcome to this office, 3rd floor, the Wi-Fi password is this, you have to send a message to get the password. Because everything is so dependent on technology these days that you just cannot work without it. You need to connect. You keep your files in the cloud these days, right? And tend to download wherever you want. That's what Google is of great help, right? Okay. Then, of course, we talk about developing systems to measure performance in each of the key areas of the organizational activity. There has to be SOP. I hope everybody believes SOP, right? Set of procedures you have. Then benchmark performance internally and externally within and outside the sector for improving towards result. You tend to benchmark. Now, what do you mean by benchmark? You try to copy. You try to actually get to know. Suppose you have a similar company, in Delhi. So you go to the website and find out, oh, they are doing this. Let me see it. We can also implement it. They are into this. They have gone through this. They have gone through this. That's the benchmarking, You tend to get to the best of the practitioners and relate it with your possibility there. Then, of course, learn from the practices adopted by others. That's another expanded form of benchmarking. And then take appropriate and timely action on results. We need to categorize. Six Sigma says that you practice something better and try to analyze. कि आपने ये साथ किया, इससे क्या हुआ? You need to analyze. There has to be a documented, when you're talking about ISOs and other organizations for certification, they talk about documentation. Everything has to be documented. Even if you pass 10 rupees ka, what do you call, chai ka bill, that has to be documented as well. That's a part of Six Sigma approach, that everything should be documented and categorized. The Six Sigma concept is not a mantra, I would say. It is just a practice, right? A little bit about the history before I come to the video part of it. The concept of Six Sigma originated in 1980s as Motorola, in response to the threat of its Japanese counterpart, got excited about the concept of zero defects. Now, zero defect is a term which talks about 100% productivity. Is it possible? Zero defect? Right? There is a term which is known as Pokoyoka, अगर आपने सुना हो, Japanese word है. Pokoyoka. पोकोयोका का मतलब होता है फुल प्रूफ. ये वीआईपी सूटकेसेस में सबसे पहले इंप्लीमेंट हुआ था कि वो उल्टा अगर आप खोलेंगे तो नहीं खुलेगा. So they implemented that concept of पोकोयोका. और बाकी इंफॉर्मेशन आप लोग ले सकते हैं गूगल से. पोकोयोका, POKOYOKA, पोकोयोका. वीआईपी सूटकेसेस गॉट इम्प्लीमेंटेड. उसके बाद किसी ने नहीं किया. आज आप कोई भी लीजिए, अच्छे ब्रांडेड, ऊपर नीचे जैसे भी खोलिए सब खुलेगा. और वो ऊपर का नीचे गिर जाता है, like at times we err to do so. So that is the concept they incepted about zero defect. Further, the concept bloomed to Elite Signal and GE, and as a result, it was in the news that in 1996, GE had saved over $1 billion of cost by using Six Sigma methodology, and this became a news. In academics, still in its infancy, it is dependent on the management gurus for implementation. Right? I don't say that we are implementing it. I've been following it for the last 10 years. Right? I've been implementing it in academics. I've been talking about problems related to distractions in the classroom while teaching. Right? I tried to make few case studies, over 10 now. They are there on script.com if you are interested. And we are trying to do something in this particular format. Anyway, so this is a little history about it. Now I've just tried to explore a little video which talks about a little format about how and why of Six Sigma.
Welcome to this course on Introduction to Six Sigma. This course will provide you with an overview of Six Sigma approach. Before we go any further, let us understand that the purpose of Six Sigma is to increase profits. How do we increase profits? We do that by making customer happy. How do we make customer happy? That is done by reducing variation and providing consistently good product or service, and by reducing defects and reworks. Six Sigma approach was first proposed and developed by Bill Smith of Motorola in 1986. It is based on the works of others, such as Hewhart, Iran, Taguchi, Deming, and Ishikawa, and their contributions to quality control, TQM, and zero defects. On January 15, 1987, Motorola launched a long-term quality program called the Six Sigma Quality Program. After implementing Six Sigma in 1988, Motorola was among the first recipients of the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. Since then, Six Sigma has constantly caught the attention of industry. As you will see in the next slide, Allied Signal adopted Six Sigma methodology in 1992 and General Electric in 1995. Even though Motorola is the founder of Six Sigma, General Electric is the company which has proven that Six Sigma is an exciting management strategy. General Electric is indeed the missionary of Six Sigma. General Electric began its Six Sigma program in 1995 and has achieved remarkable results since then. Originally, Six Sigma was designed to be a practice to improve the manufacturing processes by eliminating defects.